Residents are expected to march to Eskom's Megawatt Park headquarters today. The marchers are appealing to Eskom to fire the board, CEO Andre de Ruyter, and the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, for the rolling blackouts. Earlier this week, you remember that de Ruyter said that he will not be stepping down as Eskom's chief. Let's get the very latest on the ground. Bring in SABC News reporter Nozintombi Miya. She's live for us, covering this march. What are you witnessing there, Nozi?
Thank you so much, Blaine. It's high energy here at the Megawatt Park in Midrand, Eskom's headquarters. And our group of residents, several groupings of residents, made their way here early in the morning. From about 8:30, 9 o'clock, they were here outside the Eskom offices. You can see behind me some of the shots of the residents themselves who've come here and want to make their voices heard. And we're going to speak to one of the residents that is here that has brought himself and some of his colleagues here to talk about the issue of the Eskom load shedding and the rolling blackouts and how frustrating that has been. Hi, Prince Rashani, you are part of this group here. Just tell us, why exactly is it that you're here and you're trying to make your voices heard?
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers of SABC. Obviously, as the residents who are here, who are fed up with the load shedding that has been happening. You know that students are writing exams, we are facing load shedding, they can't study, livelihoods have been lost, businesses are affected. So I'm here to make our voices heard that we want the end of load shedding immediately. We're also calling for the removal of the CEO, Mr. Andre de Ruyter, and the entire Eskom board led by Professor Makgoba. They must all resign. If they're not resigning, we're calling them to be fired because they must take responsibility for what is happening here. Yes. So,
we did get information that the rolling blackouts would be suspended, or load shedding would be suspended from 5 o'clock today. Does this not then render your protest or your demonstration moot? Because how effective do you think it will be to remove the CEO of Eskom and to remove the board? Do you think that's going to put an end to the load shedding?
Definitely. You'll know that when a company suffers, the CEO must take account. So he must be accountable as the chief executive officer. And as the citizens have lost all faith in Mr. Andre de Ruyter, it's not the first time he says he's going to suspend load shedding, but load shedding has been continued. No longer trust him. Yes, he must end load shedding. Along with that, he must also resign today in the press briefing. I heard that he is having a press briefing. He must also tender his resignation at the press briefing.
But Prince, we do know that Andre de Ruyter earlier this week did say that he's not going to step down. Where does that put you? It puts you both at opposite ends of the spectrum.
We have a campaign for Mr. Andre de Ruyter. It's called Bekeli Beke. We're going to occupy Eskom every week until he resigns. He said he will not resign his own accord. We'll push him to resign because he said Eskom is a dead horse. What does he want with a dead horse? Let him resign. Competent people must come and take over Eskom. That's what we want from him. We want nothing else from him as well.
He does seem to have put in place some measures in his press briefing earlier. He does seem to have put in measures, and he does seem to have tried to gain the confidence of citizens. He's actually said that municipalities were to blame because they didn't follow the load shedding plan. What is your thoughts as a citizen living in those municipalities that are being blamed for flouting the load shedding? What are your thoughts to what he said?
He's the CEO, he must take account. If you're still blaming municipalities, that's a problem in its own. We have no longer faith in Mr. Andre de Ruyter. We want him to resign. We don't want him to try. The core mandate of Eskom is to supply electricity. He has failed dismally since he came in. He has not supplied electricity. We don't want anything else from Mr. Andre de Ruyter. We want electricity. He has failed. He has released more statements than electricity. We are tired of statements. We are tired of briefings. We want him to resign. We want a new CEO to come and supply with us with electricity. That's what we want. We want electricity from him. Nothing else.
Prince, just quickly, before I let you go, just tell us who are the residents, which areas or communities are the residents from?
These are the citizens all over the province. We have not done an audit of which areas are, but all over Gauteng, people are here. Even outside provinces are here because we know that we called upon all citizens to come and raise their voices today.
So Prince, just quickly, for you personally, how has the load shedding been problematic? How has it impacted on you personally?
No, me personally, I have a younger sister. She's doing matric and she's struggling. She can't study and we can't afford generator. It's very costly, so we can't afford a generator. So it has affected my sister personally. So even my neighbors, because not only me personally, there are sick neighbors there who are living on life oxygen, but if there's no electricity, they can die. So it's a problem for everyone, not just me personally. This is not just about me, but it's every citizen who's affected by load shedding.
Thank you so much. Prince, we're going to leave it there. Blaine, it's quite interesting that this group of citizens are saying that they want Andre de Ruyter, the CEO of Eskom, and the board to step down with immediate effect, because they believe that removing them will ensure that load shedding is permanently suspended and that there is a resolution or there's a way forward in terms of assisting Eskom in its power generation. So in just a few minutes, we're going to be moving closer to the crowd just to get you a few more voices from the community members. We do understand that these are people from all different types of walks of life in different provinces that have come together under one cause to fight against or to protest against Eskom's continued load shedding. Blaine.
He has released more statements than electricity, says Prince. We will see what the CEO has to say at 10 o'clock. Remember, he did say that load shedding, as he put it, rolling blackouts, as people call it, will continue until they get that additional 4,000 to 6,000 megawatts into the grid. Let's see what the CEO has in store for us at 10 o'clock. Nozintombi Miya. We'll come back to you just before that and get more reaction on the ground.